evening. Welcome to tonight's township meeting. It is July 10th, 2024. Tonight's meeting, 7 p.m. Scott Wilson is in the back of the room. I'd like to ask everyone to get up and pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sorry, I said that a little early. Scott Stilson is in the back of the room, videotaping tonight's meeting, and it's also being taped on Zoom. Okay, so we'll start with our open forum on action items. That would be things that are on the agenda. Anyone on this side of the room have anything they'd like to say, Valerie?
Valerie Schultz, 165 Caitlin Court. I have questions about items 4, 5, and 6 under new business. For the resolution, item number 6, for adopting a right to know request, the policy. So on section E, it says, should the agency fail to issue a response within the applicable response period, the request is deemed denied. But then under the right to know request appeals section, section C, it then says that all appeals must state the grounds upon which the requester asserts the requested records are public, but it also must address the grounds stated by the agency for denying the request. So if there is no response, you have no idea why the agency denied the request. So I don't know how a requester can adequately address an appeal if they don't have a reason for that.
So the appeals go to the State Office of Open Records, and they have standard requirements for their appeal form. It would just be noted that it was deemed denied for failure to respond.
Okay.
And that the policy, other than township-specific, tweaks, really is the recommended from Office of Open Records policy at this point.
Okay.
So that's common language, and you have to give a reason for the denial, and if the denial is just that there wasn't a response, that would be the reason.
Okay, okay. And then my question is, I see we have approval tonight for a consultant, human resources consultant, and a conflict counselor. And I was wondering, first of all, where that money is proposed to come from, and why exactly that's needed, especially for the conflict solicitor. Is that something that Beth can't provide at this point? Because I thought that was a lot of the services that you do help with currently.
Sure.
Yeah, so from time to time, conflicts of interest arise under my legal ethical rules where potentially my law firm represents someone who would have a matter before this township, and so I would not be able to represent them, as my colleague at my firm also would not be able to represent the client. And so there have been 1 or 2 instances where that has surfaced, and so the township has decided it would be prudent to have someone who, in that case, when that occurred, they call, and so it's not in addition to my services, because I'm charging on an hourly basis. It's, for this matter, a different attorney needs to handle it. And so it's essentially the same quantity of services, there just would be someone else filling in.
And what about the human resources consultant? Is that something different than
It
the
is
information
something
you would
different.
provide too? Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else on this side of the room have anything they'd like to say in regard to tonight's agenda? This side of the room? Erin?
Hello, Erin Hannibal, 1025 White School Road. Quick question regarding the treasurer's report. Just so you know, on the first page of that report, the month listed on the left-hand side of the page, it should be June, not May. I think the treasurer made a mistake there. I also noticed that Fulton Bank has been charging us like $800 to $900 a month for an account analysis.
I'll look into that and give you the answer.
Okay. Also, for the skate park, I noticed that the letter came from YSM and Skate Architects. Are they managing the construction of the skate park?
Yes,
And are we paying them?
that's part of that's part of the scope of work that James Umble Park Phase 1 was.
Okay, so we're paying them to manage.
That was all written into the documents that were naturally signed before I started for the.
They're a landscape architect, right? That's what it says.
Correct, they do outdoor projects, they are an architectural firm, yes.
Okay, I just thought it was ironic that they were managing a skate park that doesn't have any.
They just don't do landscaping, they do outdoor recreation projects, they do parks. You know, the name landscape architect doesn't say that they design gardens.
Yeah, I get it, I didn't realize we weren't managing that in-house. Has the construction started down there?
They just moved equipment in today.
Okay. And the HR consultant, have we ever had an HR consultant before?
Not that I'm aware.
Okay, and I didn't see, do you know what they charge per hour?
150.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else from the side of the room where Erin is? Okay. Let's move forward to section E, our consent agenda. Can I hear a motion to approve items 1 through 13? I'll make a motion. All in favor? Aye. All right, we'll go to the department reports.
Just one note, the food pantry's collecting backpacks, school supplies, etc. I think up until August 7th, they would like to have the stuff in. There's a list out there for supplies needed, if anyone would like to donate.
And a side note, I saw that you donated your second quarter pay to the fire company.
I did. Is Karen here? Good.
Yeah. Okay.
First and second. So I did make them donations, Karen.
All right, let's go over to item 2, Don Johnson, Public Works. He is here. I'm back, right?
Yeah, we're just about done everything on Beaver Dam Road out there. I mean, for where we did our paving, got the lines painted on the road. Been working on fixing the berms up and some other driveways that we've done. The other thing we have is Rock Road, Beaver Dam intersection. We're gonna try to tie that in a little bit better. That kind of turned out steep right there it's steep to begin with, but it made it a little bit worse by paving Beaver Dam. So tomorrow we'll work on that and see if we can get that tied in a little bit better with some blacktop and the spot seal coating's done, and then I got a stormwater project which will be down at the end of Talbotville Road from Saplee up to Buchanan Road, and that'll probably be sometime next month.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Beaver Dam is very nice. Kristy, who is on this young thing?
She is, but she doesn't have a voice because of illness. So I would just ask that you accept her written report, which she was in the consultant agenda. And just a note, Community Partnership did award 3 scholarships. Additionally, Untitled Health Department and Chester County Hospital health needs assessment will be discussed. They're going to conduct that every 3 years. And they're going to have a survey looking for feedback. Finally, it's been 2 years since we've done the Veterans Honor Roll that we had printed in the lobby. We are commencing an update to that on our website, and we'll accept any new veterans who served from the Revolutionary War to present. Currently, we have 496, so this will expand the honor roll to 5 panels, so please contact Kristy. Any names to be included before the next printing. And just to let the board know, our intention is to reach out to some of those on the honor rolls and see if they would like the old ones as we replace them with new ones. So we will make sure that they go to a family or a vet that is listed on those honor rolls. And that's all Kristy had.
Thank you. And you're actually next up, Warren.
Just accept my written report. I'll answer any questions. As just noted, the arm and concrete has arrived today, and we're starting the mobilization for the skate park in phase 1. So you will see progress over the next several weeks.
Thank you. Honey Brook Community Library, I think they're, you're from the library? Oh, here.
Oh, yep. You have a report? Anything to share?
Oh, I didn't know we were on the agenda that far up.
If you are, you're on the
No, I do not. Thank you. I can give you a brief overview if you'd like. President Rocky couldn't be here tonight, so I thought I was just going to look at the agenda for you, hopefully partially approve the use of funds. Anyway, the construction's going well. We have hit a couple of hurdles, I should say, on things unexpected, like rock that needed to be broken up, that kind of thing. If anybody drives by or looks on the website, our director, Jennifer, posts pictures of other pictures of the construction and also pictures of from a drone that someone has, who gets approval for doing, drone photographs. The foundations are in. We've been following the township and Technicon's inspections, sheets and requirements, and we have all the wood, and the framing is supposed to be going on this week. I didn't get a chance to drive by. But so far so good. We're still on schedule to be ready and to open in, I think, mid to late October. And that's obviously a construction update. Everything else seems to be going well. We're working on a new logo for the library. It's library specific instead of using the Chester County logo. We also are working on a policy for the community room, and that opens for events. So things are plugging along. So, thank you.
Thanks for the impromptu update.
Sure.
Land Preservation Committee.
I don't see anybody, and Kristy normally gives the report, and so I don't have anything to
Okay. Planning Commission.
Planning Commission, I know Gary and Erin are here tonight. Tonight there are a couple of recommendations that we'll get into under new business for you. As far as I know, the agenda is fairly light for this month's agenda. We do have some zoning hearing applications that were received. They'll be reviewed and recommended to you for next month's meeting. And we may also receive a waiver request for some stormwater items for a lot of record plan that's under review currently. So we'll translate that to the Planning Commission and provide those recommendations to you for next month.
Thank you. Parks and Rec. Haven't updated. I don't think there's anybody here.
No, I know they had their first Friday event last week, and I believe they said 4 families attended, and it seemed that they had enjoyed themselves, and I'm looking forward to having it again this Friday and continuing through the summer.
Family Fun Fridays.
Family Fun Fridays.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll go to item G.
Oh, excuse me, can I just add, I forgot to add something for the library, is that okay? Real quick. I'd like to thank the township for all their support for the new construction and for our everyday operations. And if you stop in the library, we have a giving tree that we got that was set up for donations, and you can get a leaf or other items depending on how much you do. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, Item G, new business. Approve or not approve the list of bills for payment as prepared by the treasurer. Can I have a motion for approval?
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 2, approve or not approve the first application for payment for the James Umble Memorial Park, Phase 1 construction project in the amount of $29,754.82. There a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, item 3, subdivision and land development plan 2024-5, Chester County Solid Waste Authority, construction of a water booster pump station on a lot to be created from tax parcel 22-3-11.1A, 5177 Horseshoe Pike.
I believe we have someone here tonight to talk about the plan, so I'd ask for them to give an explanation of the plan for you, and then we can get into the recommendation.
Yeah, so my name is Cris Hays. I'm the facility engineer for the Chester County Solid Waste Authority. We are partnering with Aero Consulting to develop this subdivision application and land development plan. So essentially the purpose of the parcel is to create a booster pump station that will provide public water utility to residents in Honey Brook Township, as well as businesses in Honey Brook Township, as well as that's extended into Lancaster County as well. And so before you tonight is 3 request waivers. 2 of them are related to the access driveway. Since this is a booster pump station, it's not like a residence, it's just something that will be visited once or twice a week for maintenance purposes. And then the 3rd waiver was related to the wellhead protection district. And then the final thing was the approval for the Tentacon letter, which is, has some contingencies in it. So I'll answer any questions about the project if you have any.
And that's a good summary. We did talk about this briefly in a zoning application for the creation of the lot, if you recall, which was approved by the zoning hearing board to create a reservoir in 322. As Chris noted, we do have waivers on the access drive. Again, it is a minimal use drive. Booster pump isn't visited very frequently. Traffic is not an issue there. There are no site distance concerns or other concerns on our part for that. The wellhead protection district requirements, ironically, were crafted with the consultation of the Honey Brook Borough Authority originally, so the creation of a booster pump, while it's within that area, does not negatively impact the protection area for the booster pump for the authority. So we have no additional objections to that waiver either. We do have a letter of June 13th, all of which the applicant has said they would comply with all the remaining items in the review letter. And Planning Commission did recommend approval of all of those waivers and conditional plan approval. So if you do have other questions for us, we'll certainly be willing to answer those.
Yeah. Okay, now do I need to make, what would that be, 2 motions?
That makes Kristy's life easier to do it that way. Since
Yeah.
that's what's on the agenda.
So, do I hear a motion to grant the 3 requested waivers?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
And do I hear a motion for conditional final plan approval contingent on Technicon's review letter dated June 13th, 2024?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item 4, approve or not approve the appointment of McGrath, thank you. Approve or not approve the appointment of McGrath Consulting as Township's Human Resources Consultant.
So just some background, I reached out to Roseanne McGrath. She is a well-known HR consultant that provides municipal services throughout the Tri-County area. She was a HR director for over 30 years. And the reason for this is that we have to stay current and updated on policy manuals, so it's much easier just to use her as a consultant as needed. I have sent her our current policy, and she indicated that it's pretty much compliant, and it will only take a handful of hours to get it up to current standards. We have the ADA requirements, staffing analysis, we need to make sure that our job descriptions are current. And she has that part of a performance excellence program. So again, that's my recommendation. Her hourly consultant rate is $150 per hour. She does have a package price to do a whole HR audit, but looking at what we have, she didn't think that would be fiscally worthwhile, and it's much better doing an hourly rate. And then again, would be appointing her every year, so in case we have HR issues come about that requires some expertise outside of what we have in-house, we could reach out to her as a group.
Okay, so it's really HR backup, so to speak.
Correct, and again, she's going to recommend some changes, and that will probably be 5 or 10 hours this year of billable time for her, and then she should be able to give us an estimate of what an average community our size might use. Usually, so we budget for it, but I can't see reaching out to her. But once or twice a year at max, because currently we haven't had any HR issues in-house, and I don't see it, but prevention is better than waiting for something to arise.
Right, it's better to address it at the beginning than the end.
Absolutely.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
We'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor? Aye. Item 5, motion to appoint or not appoint Michael J. Gombar, Jr. as conflict counsel for Honey Brook Township. Now, I believe that Beth gave a pretty nice example of what that meant.
And just for the board's and the public understanding, they're going to match the current hourly rate. So it's not going to cost the township additional hourly bill rates.
Right, so it wouldn't be you and another counselor billing us. Right.
Their rate is the same.
Same
one,
rate
so it's
as
like, if
the
that were
firm.
moves to them, it's still the same rate that I charge the township, so.
Right, so it just resolves any conflict we may have. Okay, do I hear a motion to appoint conflict counsel?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 6, adopt or not adopt resolution 2024-12, adopting a right to know request policy as prepared by the solicitor.
So I don't know if you want any more background. We touched on this briefly last month. In part, we discovered that this township had never formally adopted a policy, and we were still enforcing the right to know laws that exist, but there's some things that are in the law that allow the township to do certain things, but you don't have to. And so this just makes very clear how we are going to administer the right to know law, and it gives us protection. And the example that arose, sort of triggered this, was there have been a ton of anonymous requests and requesters that were starting to circulate requests, and we don't have to accept them. And so a lot of municipalities have been cleaning up those policies to make it explicit that they're not accepting anonymous requests, which the law absolutely permits. So that's a narrow piece of it. Big picture is it's putting in one document exactly how Honey Brook Township is going to, act in accordance with that law when requests arrive. So it's really just kind of housekeeping to get it formally on the books at this point.
And that could potentially keep our costs down if we would be receiving a bunch of anonymous requests.
Correct,
As a
in terms of having to comply.
Right.
Because the law requires that it be a legal entity that makes a request. And so if they can't prove that they're an existing legal person or corporation, just says, Santa Claus or anonymous, we don't have an obligation to respond to that.
Okay.
And so to that point, yes. And then some of the other things in the policy, having clarity helps us in case of an appeal to defend the decision that may have been made by the township. Because it's clear that we've set forth what we're doing. We're not doing anything that's not allowed under law, but this is how we're administering our compliance.
Okay. Do I hear a motion motion to adopt?
I'll make a motion to adopt.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 7, we have a waiver request for the Locust Drive paving from Faulkner subdivision, 58 Danton Road, tax parcel number 22-8-8.4, project 505.
And I can give a brief explanation. I'm not sure if anyone's here for that. I can actually, if you want me to cover the explanation, then if you have anything to add, Mr. Stoltzfus? Okay, I'll do it that way, okay? This was a subdivision plan that was approved about 10 years ago, created 4 lots off of Danton Road for a private lane. One of the requirements under Sal BOS is obviously the paving of the private lane to serve those lots. 3 of the lots are developed, owned by Amos Benuel and Elam Stoltzfus. There is no commercial uses back there. They're fairly minimally used. Horse and buggy access. I think there's an occasional truck that goes back there and utilizes that road on a regular basis. The request is actually to waive the paving requirement for that roadway, so it would remain in a gravel condition. The initial apron has been paved as it accesses out on the Danton Road, and there is a requirement for one of the other remaining driveways to be paved, which we're already holding separate funds for that. So essentially that's the request, is to clean up an issue we've been holding in security, like I said, for some time. So when this surfaced, the waiver request came forward to see if we could remain as a gravel road. There are some pictures, I believe, that may have been forwarded to the board. If you've seen the pictures, they're in fairly good condition. So we have no objections, and the planning commission did recommend granting the waiver. So if you have any questions for me, I can certainly answer those, or Mr. Stoltzfus as well is here tonight.
And just to chime in, if in the future some more intense or different use other than your residential agricultural was proposed on one of those lots, that would be a change of use that could trigger land development, which would be a moment that, that could be reassessed and readdressed if
Right.
traffic would potentially change on the road at that time.
Very true.
And because it's a private drive, he doesn't have to worry about.
Right, the township has no responsibility for maintenance. It's privately owned amongst the landowners, I believe. It's usually a shared agreement between the lot owners and the road.
And all the lot owners are in agreement that they're okay with it.
That's my understanding.
Yes.
I believe there's a letter in there from the 3 of them.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to grant the waiver?
What's for 2 separate? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion to grant the waiver request under 7A and B.
Okay. Then the second motion to approve or not approve final release of funds for the Faulkner subdivision 58 Danton Road. Now this is the, I guess, remaining.
Yeah, the second piece, assuming the waiver is granted by the board, then the release would be for the remaining funds being held for the paving of the road. That's why it's listed as 2 separate motions.
Okay, a motion to make the final release of funds.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. All in favor? Okay.
Thank you.
Item 8, approve or not approve the partial release of funds for Chestnut Ridge Stages 2 and 3, Reason and Chestnut Tree Roads 22-8-52.5 and 22-8-52.4 respectively in the amount of $40,129.80.
And just for the board's knowledge, this is the ongoing construction of phases 2 and 3. As you know, there's several houses currently under construction, several more are being started. The majority of this release would be for sidewalk, driveway aprons, and ENS controls for the lots that are being developed on site. In addition to that, as a result of this release, we still are withholding essentially just shy of $1 million from the remaining improvements. So that will be withheld, obviously, pending further development and inspection of the site.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to release those funds?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in Approve or not approve a partial release of funds for the Honey Brook Community Library, 687 Compass Road, 22-6-39.2B and 39.2C, in the amount of $26,880 for completed site improvement.
And this is what Stacy was actually here for tonight, I believe.
Yeah.
This is the
That's what I
partial
thought,
release.
yeah.
This is for the stormwater management improvements at the library that we've inspected and approved. That amount reflects those inspections and installation of those facilities. We are withholding some of the funding for the roof drains, which they have not been installed yet, so we'll hold on to those until they're installed. And there's a remaining security after the release of about $21,000 remaining for the project.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the partial release of funds for the library?
Yes, make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 10, approve or not approve full release of funds for the Tri-County Investment Group, 2120 Twin County Road, 22-3-64.3, in the amount of $19,772.72.
This was the land development there on Todd and Penn. This would be the final release for that, for the completion of the project. We inspected that project and it's been found satisfactory.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 11, approve or not approve a partial release for Village Green Phase 3, 2042 Horseshoe Pike, 22-8-86, in the amount of $6,590.89.
And again, this is for Village Green Phase 3. You'll see it's just a partial release. This is for the conversion of the basin on the property. We're only recommending that amount because we're waiting some outstanding issues. We have relayed that to the developer. Didn't receive any response, so we're going to remain withholding some of those items until we receive all necessary documentation and associated information from them to confirm the adequate conversion has taken place. So that's the withholding that you see here.
If I remember right, at one point we even upped their escrow.
We did, and there's a separate item related to that that has to be handled administratively that we're going to follow up on, making sure that those increases are collected and provided by the developer as part of the recommendations that were previously approved by the board.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the partial release?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I think that brings us to the end of other new business. Old business. Open forum, any other matter? Anyone on Valerie's side? Valerie?
Yeah, Valerie Schultz. Just wanted to bring to everyone's attention that last month's sewer authority board meeting, they approved a rate increase that's going to take place January of next year. Hopefully they'll be making an announcement sometime soon. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do that, but it's a lot less than what they initially thought. It's going to be $23 per quarter, and they're going to be increasing their tapper fees to the maximum allowed by the state, which is, I think, like $6,900 for the tapper fees, and that'll help them pay back the $12.6 million low interest loan that's going to be used to improve the sewer treatment plant. So just look for that to be coming next year. The other question I had was, are we still participating in the COG? I haven't really heard any updates about the COG and what's going on with the COG.
Yes, I go to the meetings. I didn't make the last meeting a family engagement, but it's been kind of a continuous same items that they've been talking about. So there's nothing reports.
Do we get anything out of that in an interaction? I mean, are you finding it beneficial?
I'm not saying no. I just don't think it's that great.
All right, thanks.
Anyone else on Valerie side? Sure.
This is not really new, but I realized I didn't give you my name for the minutes, you might need it. Stacy Papillon, and on the Honey Brook Library Board of Trustees, I'm chair of the Strategic Development and Planning Commission. I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
I think you used to be on our township planning commission too, didn't you?
Yeah, I was on your planning commission a while ago.
Yeah.
Mike knew what it was, but I forgot to say what it was. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on that side of the room? This side of the room, Erin's side? Okay. Do I hear motion to adjourn?
Make the motion.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone, for coming out for tonight's meeting. As always, we're here if you have a question. You can come up and talk to us.